Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. I also know some of you join us who are just business professionals. You are welcome here as well, especially during the series that we are doing right now. We are going after a lot of different limiting beliefs when it comes to making money. It's the stuff that is keeping people broke, and it's keeping a lot of people from really stepping into their potential. As you are getting into the room, I want to welcome everybody who's getting in the room. What I love to do is actually acknowledge people who get in the room, as opposed to just being some kind of talking head. So here's what I would love for you to do. I'd love for you to share your name, where you're joining us from, and one thing that you're excited about today that you feel life and momentum on. Actually, you don't have to say your name. I'll be able to pull that up in here. I see Romeo joining us from Lebanon. Welcome, Romeo. Let's see. Rachel said links don't work. Actually, we are here. We just didn't go live until 10:30. So welcome. Anybody else? First name, where you're joining us from, one thing that you're excited about today that you feel life and momentum on. And I'd love to just pull you in and connect with you really quickly as we're starting. And do me a huge favor, if you're in the room, go ahead and hit the like button, throw us a comment, share this. That's what actually helps us get out in front of people. Anybody that you know that is struggling with some mindset problems, some beliefs when it comes to money, we want to really help them get freed up this week and over the next several weeks. So here's what we're talking about today. The belief system that we are going after is having money makes you less spiritual. And I hear this one a lot. We have a lot of people who are breaking into coaching. Thankfully, I appreciate people who come from all different backgrounds and different kinds of things that want to express their purpose through the calling of coaching. And so we have a lot of people who are coming from a religious or a spiritual background that are breaking into coaching. And they actually see coaching as a means of being able to do some of the things that have been in their heart for a really long time. Particularly, we see a lot of faith-based coaches and stuff like that. But what we're talking about really in this series, and I just want to say hi really quickly to Emma. Welcome, Emma, from Canada. And there's Beth. I like Miracle Grow. Looking forward to today's message. I'm looking forward to another key to crushing this mindset. Very cool. So what I see a lot of times, and what we're really doing in this series, is to crush a mindset. For one, our belief system. What we really need to know is what the belief system is. And what I believe is that if you can chip at the foundation of it enough, you can replace it. So we have different mindsets and belief systems that are in place. And there is a difference between a mindset and a belief system. Mindsets are kind of like attitudes, and belief systems are something that are really foundational. So if you've got a foundation, and we say that that is a belief that you are functioning in, what is going to happen is if you're trying to do something different, let's say a lot of people who are breaking into coaching haven't hit their stride in terms of the finances that they would really like to make. In many cases, they're not really hitting it like they want to, but they want to have their own business so that they're able to do it. But if you have a belief system right here that is underlying, that is about you, it's about money, it's about what your parents taught you about money or whatever, what's going to happen is that this thing is ultimately going to show up as an obstacle. And maybe it's going to happen on the front end, or it's going to happen 3 months down the road, but I guarantee it's going to pop up. Maybe it's about that time that you're going to give somebody a proposal to work with them or something like that. It's going to come up when you're trying to put together what you think you are worth, your fees or whatever. And what will happen is that when that barrier comes up, if it is a belief system that you have not gone after, it will be an obstacle every time. You'll never feel good about what you're doing. You'll feel guilty about what you're doing or whatever. And so all we need to do to get rid of a mindset is just doubt it enough. Let me put enough unbelief into this belief system. Let's make you doubt it. If I can put enough doubt in it, we'll put cracks in it, but then we have to replace it with a new belief system. So this is how we actually get people to transform and change their minds is that we've got to go after what they have been believing. Let's put enough doubt in it, and now let's obliterate it and replace it with a new belief. So that's what we're going to do today. So this whole thing about having money makes you less spiritual. It comes from a number of different places. And what I'm really going to do is I'm going to find like 3 of them really quickly, and we're going to go after that belief system and we're going to replace it. Okay. So here's the first part of it, is that I think that there's a lot of people who believe if it's truly noble, you shouldn't charge for it. There's a lot of people who actually believe that. Matter of fact, there's a lot of people who are in faith communities, and that is something that people in their faith community actually makes everyone feel. Everybody should be volunteering your time. Even if you work as a professional inside of our faith community, you should be doing what you do for free. If you're an attorney, you should do all of your legal work for free or whatever. Now, let me say this really quickly. If you feel like the calling on your life is to empty yourself of everything that you own and to live penniless or whatever, I am not going to. If somebody feels like that is the calling and the destiny on their life, I'm not going to argue that with you. I would say go do that. Then just do it quicker than you feel comfortable. Just go do it, because because if you really feel like you have heard that over your life and that is what you are supposed to do, go do it. Okay. But 99% of us are not going, at least 99, probably more than 99% of us, that is not your calling. That is not the destiny of your life. But if you feel something like, if it's truly noble that you're not supposed to charge for it, then you will never do your calling. And so what ends up happening is that we sit around and we're trying to figure out, well, I have this thing in my heart to do it, but I can't actually afford to do it. I want to help a lot of people, but I can't actually afford to help them. So we hold up people like Mother Teresa in really high esteem, and she should be. Hold up Mother Teresa in high esteem as someone who's given away everything so that she can live amongst the poor and the impoverished and to be able to help them and serve them in that way. But here's the thing, is if you don't realize this about Mother Teresa had access to millions, probably even billions of dollars. I don't know that you've actually thought about that. Yes, she had taken some kind of a vow of poverty and was living amongst those people, but she had access, she had resources to billions of dollars to be able to do anything that she needed to do. She also traveled all over the world and spoke and did different kinds of things. What I'm trying to tell you is that having money doesn't really speak against the nobility of what you do or not. Matter of fact, what we want to do, because that's the thing, is that I know a lot of times we like to romanticize this thing. Let's just think about it just in people, whether you're Catholic or not. A lot of people hold her in high esteem, as they should. She wasn't broken penniless, okay? She wasn't. Because what happened is because of what she was doing actually brought rewards and resources to be able to fulfill it. So how do we change this mindset? Well, here's the thing. If you were an attorney, you'd probably think, oh, well, if I was an attorney, I should be able to charge, $500 an hour. If I was a doctor, because all doctors make money, I should be charging hundreds of dollars an hour or something like that. We look at certain professions and we say those people are worth it. Sometimes we look at certain professions and we're like, I think that person's worth their time. Some of them, we just think that, unfortunately, many attorneys aren't very respected, but we think that the price tag goes with their role. But here's the thing. If you're a person who doesn't think professional athletes should be paid millions of dollars or whatever, because there are a lot of people making money that it's probably questionable about their morality and their ethics. I agree with that sometimes. So here's how we go after this. What I want to reframe this with is that the noblest of callings should be paid the most. That's how we go after it. Like, let's say that there was a Mother Teresa-like person, and all they wanted to do is just help people. Shouldn't we, if they showed that they could manage money and they could manage resources well, that they had a great heart? Because last week we talked about the fact that money doesn't corrupt a heart. It actually exposes a heart. It actually reveals a heart. So like with Mother Teresa, if you gave her $1 million, you know she's going to use it the right way, right? Yeah, we believe that. So it would be terrible management on our end if we went out and we bought fancy cars and we went out to dinner and everything else, but we looked at somebody like Mother Teresa and said, hey, you know what? You bought into your vow of poverty. Let's let you just keep living into it. No, we'd say, no, let me help resource you. I understand that you have deprived yourself to help other people. Let's give you the most money. Shouldn't the noblest callings get the most money? Shouldn't the people that have demonstrated that they have the right heart about things be rewarded the best because they're going to do the most with it? And so this is the way we've got to reframe this thing, and we've got to form a new belief. Listen, this just isn't true. So we've got to doubt it, because the reality is that anybody who's doing great work in the world that loves people and has the right heart, they are getting resourced to do it. Now, the people who aren't getting resourced to do it, sometimes they have vision problems. Sometimes people aren't clear about what they do or whatever. It just shows you that somebody can be one of the most humble people on the planet, but everybody know about what they're doing without them showcasing and flaunting it all the time. Okay? All right. Next one. The second thing that I hear people say is that not taking money is the highest form of spirituality. If you ever thought that, you have some people who say not getting paid equals high spirituality, which would also mean that getting paid is a lower spirituality, right? Well, let's think about what we do. I have some friends that go to Tijuana, and being in California, and we're living close to the border and everything. Go to Tijuana. Some of them work with the drug addicted. Some of them work with prostitutes. Some of them work with people getting them out of sex trafficking. Some of them go and build houses and different kinds of things like that. Okay. Now, here's the thing, is that, and then I have some friends that go to other Latin American countries, some that go to Africa, they do water and all of this other stuff. You know what they always teach them? They teach them a livelihood, so they don't just give them food, but they teach them a livelihood, and they teach them how to prosper. Why would they do that? Because here's the thing, is that if this is true, not getting paid equals high level of spirituality, then why are we going to other countries and we're trying to help the poor all the time? Why would we steal their spirituality from them? Tell me that. So for anybody who wants to argue and think that everybody needs to be broke and not get paid because it's a lesser form of spirituality, then why are we trying to help the poor? Why don't we allow them to be poor? Because they'll be closer to God if we just leave them alone. Let's forget about everybody else in the world, because they're probably closer to God or more spiritual than we are. That's how bad that mindset is. So it's very easy to break the foundations of this thing, because it's total crap. I mean, what are we saying? You know what we're really saying? What we're really saying is that poverty is a terrible thing. That's why we go build houses in Mexico, because kids need a place to live. Why do we help immigrants? Why do we do all of the things that we do? Because it is not okay. We believe at the heart of us that all human beings have value, and that at a true spiritual work, if we are truly faith-based people, if we're truly spiritual people, you can't look at the suffering of someone else and not do something about it. Poverty is terrible in every form. It takes away people's dreams. It takes away their aspirations. It makes people not live into their potential. So how we have to break into this thing, and how do we have to break and remove this, is that we've got to reframe this. So you know what I want? I want to be entrusted with more. You know why? Because I realize that some of the places that we need to go in the world and the people that we need to help aren't even on the map in terms of how much money we make. I don't know if we all realize how much money that we make, but there is like a little website that you can go to and type in how much money you make a year, and that you'll find really quickly you're in the top 5. If you're an American, doesn't matter where you are on the totem pole as far as finances in the United States, you're in the like top 5 to 10% in the entire world. And even the poor here, live very rich compared to the way they do in other countries. You know what I want? I don't want to not get paid. I want to be trusted with more. Like, I love you people who are like, I want to live penniless, and I want to see God or the universe show up and provide things for me. So that there's somebody who comes up to my door and they're like, I don't have anything in the refrigerator, but somebody knocks on the door and they're like, and I don't know who it is, and I go and open the door and they've disappeared, but there's groceries for my kids for a week. That is awesome. That's great. But you know what I want to do? I want to be the person holding the groceries. I don't know about you. I want to be the person who's an answer to that person's prayer. That's just me. And I believe that it's probably 99% of the planet that's what your calling is. I believe that we're incredibly creative beings. All of us are, and we can generate income. We can actually survive, and we can thrive off of the things that we're able to create. And that's what I'm after. I want to be entrusted with more so that I can start setting more people free, that I can bring people more into what they were really able to do. And I believe this right here, being entrusted with more, is a word that a lot of faith-based people use, is this word of stewardship. And I want to steward everything that I get in a way that it creates more, but it also frees other kinds of people. And I believe that the more that I help people, the more I'm going to actually be entrusted with it. Okay? So that's how we break that foundation. Let's get to number 3. And I actually have to remind myself of how I actually wrote it. So we're giving you a little bit more, making it a little bit more tangible. And so barrier number 3 is that, well, maybe I'm going to work my regular job so I can do my calling on the side. That sounds really noble, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound very spiritual? But it's actually a combination of all of the things that are wrong with people who believe the way that they believe about work and about spirituality. And here's what I mean by that. Your spirituality is not only in how you pray. It's not in how you meditate. It's not in pushing things away or taking on things or fasting or any of those other kinds of things. Let me say this. I think that spirituality that's talked about in that way is not only incongruent with every person's life on the planet for the most part, but it can actually be very arrogant and condescending towards other kinds of people. And here's what I mean by that. Your spirituality means nothing if it doesn't show up in your everyday life. And the way that I believe about spirituality is that I believe that all choices are spiritual choices. I believe that your spirituality informs every choice that you make every day of your life. But if we only make our spiritual life and this is what Americans are really good at doing, that we compartmentalize, that we have this one little part over here, and this is the only time that we get to be spiritual. All of this other stuff that we are doing isn't spiritual. When we create little barriers and compartments like that, that is an unfulfilled life. This is why people are like, I'm just going to work a regular job and I'm going to do my calling on the side. This is why 85% of the people on the planet hate their jobs, because they're not living into what they're made for. And I'm going to tell you again, I believe that it's incredibly arrogant and condescending for anybody to say those kinds of things. Here's why. What are you going to say about your everyday raising your kids? Is that not spiritual? What are you going to say about driving to work? Is that not spiritual? What about typing into spreadsheets? Is that not spiritual? Waiting at stoplights, taking a shower, going to the gym. Well, it all really depends on how you're wanting to define stuff. And the way that you're going to define your spirituality, if this is becoming a barrier for you, it's because you've defined spirituality in a very narrow kind of place. I can be spiritual at any given moment that I want to be. It's all about awareness. And the truth is that I think that most of you who really are spiritual people, you're faith-based people, it's actually those things are informing how you treat people, how you go to work, if you show up to work on time, if you cheat on your taxes, or if you do the right thing on your taxes, how you treat your kids, that you dress your kids. Listen, if you got your kids ready for school this morning, you did a spiritual act. If you took a shower this morning, that is a spiritual act. You were taking care of your body that was entrusted to you. There's all of these kinds of things. And when we have a narrow understanding of what spirituality or being a faith-based person is, then what we do is that we try to cram everything into this one spot, and we wonder why we're broke and we're unsatisfied in what we're doing. What we've got to do is that we've got to broaden how we see spirituality. This is the belief shift that we've got to have, is that everything that I do is spiritual. There is not work over here and a spiritual life over here. Everything is fully integrated because it all matters. And when everything that you do matters, when you see everything that you do with your kids, with your spouse, with your neighbor, what you do in traffic, how you treat people, all of those things, when you go to the checkout at Walmart or whatever, when you see everything as spiritual in that kind of way, everything starts to matter and everything has meaning. And you know what? I'm not only living my purpose just in this one little part, I'm actually living my purpose all the time. And so here's the thing, is that what we want to do is that we want to take out what we have right now. We have calling and purpose here, and what a lot of people have over here is vocation. And a lot of times people think that the only time that someone has a spiritual vocation is that when they're a pastor at a church or a rabbi or some kind of a spiritual leader or whatever, that they only think that it's aligned when they're doing the same thing. And so what they look at is a division between those kinds of things. Listen, again, that's so shameful, because 98% of the planet, 97, 98% of the planet will not have a job in some kind of a spiritual organization or in some kind of spiritual kind of whatever. That is their vocation. What are you going to say about the woman who feels the calling to be a CEO or an attorney or something like that? Are we going to say that they are unspiritual people? Are we going to say that they have unspiritual jobs? What if you're coaching someone and they're saying, you know what, I want more balance in my spirituality or something like that? Are you going to tell them quit their job and go do something else? I hope not, because we need all of those things. What if you had a doctor that you were coaching and you're saying, you know, I want more spiritual balance in my life? What if they actually looked at their work as actually doing the work of God every day when they are interacting with people and everything else? We've created these disconnects. We've created these barriers, and it's not okay. And so what we have to do is that we have to reframe this thing. The new belief system is that there is no separation. There's no separation between vocation and calling. They actually go together. When we can do this, now we're not at war anymore with spirituality. We realize in all of these things, they're fully integrated. They're not at war with one another. They are part and parcel. Listen, upgrade your thinking and get out of the box when it comes to your spirituality. You also, for some of you who are in faith-based communities that are expecting free things and stuff like that, I am going to encourage you to have much more robust conversations with people in the way that they are defining things. Because what it's going to do is it's going to free other people. Because we realize that the only reason they're having those conversations or you're feeling like that is it's because this is how small their spirituality is right now. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's get people out of the performance mindset and let's set people free so that they're not having to be broke and give away everything that they do for free. All right, so let me look at some of the things that people are saying really quickly. There's Gina. Hi, a little late to the party, but I am here. Welcome. Does anybody have any questions or any kind of comments that I can speak to during this time? I want you to go ahead and throw them down. And also, so just leave a comment that I can respond to. Also, if you can just like this video or share it, that would be hugely helpful. I need to pay the bills really quickly before we go into this Q&A. For those of you who are thinking about being a coach and you've Googled it more than 3 times, I'm encouraging you to go for it. It's already in your heart. You got to quit procrastinating and making any excuses for yourself. It's time to step into your destiny. The reason why our program is so extraordinarily affordable is because we are the true pioneers in online education for coaching. We used to do live training. Yes, it does cost thousands of dollars to do live training, but what we really found is that we could help coaches step into coaching proficiency by giving them a self-paced program that's fully online, because we're thinking about the 98% of our students that work full-time. They can't really take off, and it wouldn't really be a good investment to spend thousands of dollars. What we did is we made education available for you 24/7, using any device, mobile devices, tablets, computers, or whatever. Now, you see that price tag is only $195. What do you get in that? There's 10 core modules. You go through the core competencies. There are skills that you will learn and put into action, because there's activities at the end of each one of those modules. And then it concludes with an exam. And if you pass the exam with a score above 70%, you've earned your credential. Do we have certificates? Yes. But the cool thing that we do is we partner with a company called Accredible, because you can tell that we're really business. If you look at any of the stuff that we do, we have a lot of business emphasis, because we don't want coaches just to have proficiency. We want them to thrive. So even your credential, the service that we use, allows you to have credential. You get a credential ID. Most schools don't even give you a credential ID. There is a unique ID that goes with your credential that can be that people can use to look you up online and all of those things to verify if you're a credential coach. It's a service that we continue paying for you for life. You can also pull your credential into all social media like LinkedIn, into your website, all of those things. That price tag on the Life Coach Certification course is only $195. There's pretty much no one who's starting a business for $195. And all of that's for you. Self-paced program, no start and end dates. You're in control of your destiny when it comes to that. But what we also noticed some years ago is that most people in training schools were going to training schools and they didn't know how to start a business. They didn't know how to be successful. They didn't know how to get clients. So what we did a few years ago is we listened to everything that our students needed. And, and I was one of those coaches that spent thousands of dollars getting trained. And then when I was leaving and I had my little certificate, they waved at me from the door and they're like, good luck. And I never heard from those guys again. I just kind of got left. And I'm like, well, I've got the certificate. How am I supposed to get a client? And I had to figure that out by myself. Now, fortunately, I did, because I'm not ashamed to tell you that I am a six-figure coach and I've been really successful. But when I started, I had every negative belief. I had terrible money beliefs. I'd never had any experience with having to get a client. I had all kinds of rejection kinds of things or whatever. And I was scared to death. And I just didn't even know what my steps were. I figured it out. And so what we've done in this program is that we've created an A to Z business development roadmap. Everything that you need to do with tools to figure out how do you discover your target market, how do you discover your niche, how do you attract clients. If you went to a networking group, do you have a 1-minute pitch? We show you how to do that. We show you how to do your branding. We show you how to have an explosive first coaching session that demonstrates that you can help people. We show you how to close clients. We show you how to create multiple streams of income. Some of you don't realize that there's a lot of ways to offer your coaching services. How is it that I only work 25 hours a month? It's because I really figured out how to leverage what I'm doing, price it at the right amount, but also to offer my services in a number of different ways so that I don't just have one kind of thing that I'm working all the time. We show you how to do all that. We supplement every bit of that with an online community where you can get support, you can get feedback on anything that you're working on, and you can also be a part of a group coaching call that we do every Wednesday where I answer every business-related question and every skill-related question with regard to coaching. We want to make sure that you're not doing this alone. You don't have to do it alone. We'll keep you from getting unstuck. The price tag on that you see is $97 a month. It does include the Life Coach Certification course. So you don't have to do both of these. What I would say is that if you just want to start out and get certified and you want the business development help, start with Jumpstart, because you do get trained and certified. It has a 3-month minimum commitment. You can cancel after that or continue to get billed after that. But it is everything that the Life Coach Certification course includes is in there with everything that I just talked about in terms of business development. And I'm going to help you have an eyeball, get a visual of what this thing really means. For those of you who think $97 a month is a lot of money. This is what Starbucks costs. Actually, Starbucks costs more than that, but a regular cup at Starbucks, $3.25 a day. That's $97 a month. And you obviously have it to spend because you're already spending it somewhere. It's looking at your life and saying, hey, what do I want to make a commitment to? This is an extraordinary bargain because for most schools, just getting trained and certified costs you thousands of dollars. And what you're going to get in this is to get trained and certified and get everything that you need to thrive in your business. We're going to be there for you. What I really believe is that if you're willing to take the steps and do what you need to do, there's no reason why you can't be successful, because we're going to keep you from getting stuck along the way. So hopefully that's helpful. I want to answer any questions that anyone has in here. Jean-Marie says, you made a lot of good points. I get hung up on not wanting to price myself out of what people who need my help can afford, but then I always end up pricing myself too low and regretting it. Yes, and here's what I'm going to say about that. I do a lot of things. Matter of fact, tomorrow there is a if you're not already in our program for Jumpstart, because Jumpstart already has access to all of this, but I take one of the things that we teach in Jumpstart, which is on setting fees, and I have a workshop that's just on that, that's live tomorrow. I believe it starts at like 10 or 11 in the morning. I'd have to look. If you go on our website, ilifecoachtraining.com, we walk you through the whole mindset of pricing and how we get there, because our students make between $250 to $1,000 per session. Most of it has to do with personal value and worth, but the other thing is trying to figure out, how do you price based on who's in front of you? What I will tell you is this. Now, for you Jumpstart students, don't join that workshop, because you already have access to that material and even more inside Jumpstart. But for those of you who don't know how to price yourself and you don't know how to set fees to break into wealth, we show you how to do that. Here's the thing. Free coaching does not help people. So please, for all of you who are listening to me, who will listen to this voice in the future or whatever, please never do your coaching for free or cheap, because you are actually stealing someone's transformation. Someone actually needs to feel. The thing is that you always pay for what you value. Everybody does that. So they have Netflix subscription, they have high-speed internet, they have a car payment. They have all of these different things that people pay for on a monthly basis. I don't want to be someone's side money. I want to be in the things that matter the most to them as a coach, because it's the only way that they're going to get transformation. Coaches who have free clients or have cut rate clients, which is what I'd say cut rate coaching, those people start no showing and they don't follow through, and they'll actually quit before they ever get their transformation. When you price yourself higher, you will have better clients. You will have people who show up every time, getting and actually following through with what they said that they were going to follow through, and they will get their best results. So please don't steal the transformation away from people. This is the way that we get transformation. Transformation happens in the heart, but the heart's connected to the wallet. You spiritual people who are listening to me today, you know that that's true. It's a spiritual principle we can't change. We pay, in our economy, it's dollars and cents, okay? In other economies, it might be different things, but for us, it's dollars and cents. What we value is what we give our money to. And what we value is what we will cling to. It's the stuff that we will be, have the highest level of commitment based on how much we feel it. We'll feel the transformation if we're actually giving money to it. People who show up for free stuff never have the obligation of walking it out. And so again, don't steal people's transformation. Set a great price that helps them. And before you cut your prices, let's say that somebody is a little bit financially challenged. Before you cut your prices, don't do that. Figure out a better way of working with them. Don't work with them weekly, saying, hey, my fees are what they are, but I think that I can help you 2 times a month instead of 4 times a month, if it really is someone who's in a financial crunch. But honestly, money's never the issue. Readiness of the person to actually commit to the change that they need to make, and them just seeing that the coach can actually help them. Those are the things that are that birth a coaching relationship. It's really never about money. So hopefully that's helpful. Any other questions or comments before we head out for the day? And again, I'm going to ask you guys who are still on the call, please like this. I don't see a whole lot of reactions that are popping in there. If you like this, give us some love, give us some comments and share this so that it can help other people, because this is not just for coaches. Everybody, most of the people that I know, the average American has less than $1,000 saved in an account. We're talking about average Americans who are like in their 50s or whatever, don't even have $1,000 if something came up. So this is a mindset, and it's belief systems that are affecting a lot of people. So if you think that this is, whether they're coaches or not, this will help a lot of different people today. Any other final questions before we head out for the day, though? Maybe about 10 more seconds. All right. Well, I am going to assume that is everyone. Listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. Don't forget, we are only about like a Monday or two before fall, as far as the fall launch of business. If you don't start now, you're probably looking at the first of the year. And so let's do what we need to do to get aggressive, get our businesses started, get our lives started, and doing the things that we really want to do. And I highly encourage you, if you haven't gotten trained and certified, we can help you with that. We'd love to walk this out with you. I'm going to put that slide up to remind you for, to start. There's a link actually in the description today where you can find out more about Jumpstart, and you can actually enroll today in about 90 seconds. Hey, have a great rest of your week and take care.